Really good team effort. You know, both offense, defense, and special teams can be more pleased the way the team played today, the way they responded. Really rallied behind a young man. He went out and played almost flawless football and kept the game really clean and kept everything clean for us in order for us to get a win. I was really pleased with the efforts today.
Yeah, Coach Paul Newberry's retiring after 40 years with the Associated Press. Let's let him open it up today.
Well, I wasn't ready for that.
That's awesome. Is that Abraham?
I'm glad to send you out with a win.
Look at John Abraham. Sorry, I just seen John Abraham in the audience. Man, I haven't seen you one time. This is the first time I've seen you, man. I haven't seen you since 2000, I don't know, 2 when I was at the Jets, man. Sorry, guys.
Front runner. How much of a front runner is John Abraham? You mentioned Penix, so keeping it clean, and obviously it helps when you have 2 pick sixes, but just his performance has to be kind of gratifying to you to make such a tough switch here at this time of the year and him to come through like that.
The only thing I would say is gratifying to us as an organization. You know, I don't take any personal recognition or any personal pride behind those type of decisions. Those decisions will always be made as a collaborative effort between myself, Terry, our management crew, and all the people that we involve with those things, along with our ownership. And, you know, it's a great job by us. It's a great job by how we wanted to manage it, how we wanted to get him out there. Like we mentioned last week, you know, the plan came a little bit sooner, but the kid was ready. We had a lot of time to develop him. The kid did a great job himself developing himself and getting ready for that moment where it wasn't too big. And I was really proud and pleased with the effort he was able to go out there and play with.
Yeah, Coach, could you also address the play of Bijan Robinson and getting the 2 pick sixes from Bates and Matthew Judon?
Bijan has been outstanding all year, and the things that he's able to do, he's special. If it wasn't for this other guy out in Philly, he'd get a lot more recognition, you know, across the league. But that guy's having a special year, and Bijan's not far behind him. I don't know exactly what the stats are because, you know, those things are for losers. But, I mean, I love the fact that Bijan's on our team. I love the fact that what he's able to do all the time. And when we're just talking about defense, you got to give the whole defense credit and how they're rushing as a unit, how they're playing as a unit, and all the things just getting better throughout the season. And what they've been able to do since the bye really has been really impressive. And going out there and scoring touchdowns on defense, those are the things that happen when you get a chance to put people behind the 8 ball, being able to stop the run, and get into some of the pass situations, allowing guys like Jesse Bates and Judon to make plays.
Coach, you give out game balls.
I did not today, actually.
No game balls.
You believe
today?
that? You know, I was so excited to let these guys know. I did not today. I will. I mean, I should have given the whole team a game ball. You know, the way they played as a team, the way they played as a unit. So we'll do that. We'll do that soon enough.
Okay, and then talk about you talked a little bit about Jesse Bates' interception return for a touchdown, but just how big was that in the second quarter? Like a big momentum shift gave you a lead that you guys never relinquished.
You know, it's hard to say. To belittle any time you get a pick six or you get a chance to score on defense or special teams like we've done before. And when you do those things, those are big momentum shifts, those things that shift the way the game's going to be played. Those things shift the way you call the game. Those things shift about everything that you want to do when you maintain that league and finishing like a pro. You know, realistically for us, having 2 first-time play callers, those are great growing and development moments for us. When you're talking about the coaches, for young Zach Robinson, how to manage that football game and keep us out of harm's way. And I think we had a 12-play drive in the second half and a 15-play drive in the second half, and that's outstanding. Jimmy Lake going out there, being able to get a couple 3-and-outs, and Marquise just continue to stay aggressive. I don't know if that was a block punt, a shank, whatever it was, but playing aggressive on special teams, allowing people not to get comfortable. And I love the aggression. I love the mentality from the whole coaching staff and the players. And like I said, couldn't be more proud of the guys and how they performed.
Raheem,
oh, right here. Sorry.
Raheem, you mentioned the other day how Penix's athleticism kind of can change things for you. How did you see that play out today?
I think we only had one time to see him really scramble, and one other time where he was able to get away and throw a ball away. Those little subtle athletic movements are things that just we've seen since we've got him, you know, honestly, that we did not see on college tape, you know, at least last year. You know, so the things that he's been able to do with us in training camp and being able to tell me that he was going to run away from somebody and all those things, I got a chance to see it today. So to see it happen live in good moments with a slide on one big-time gain, another one just being able to get away from a sack and throw the football away, those are grown men, professional-type plays that you love to see from your young quarterback.
Coach, down the middle. Are we going to watch the Tampa Bay Dallas game as a coaching staff, or just focus on Washington next week? And
No, we'll watch those things the way they go about their business, right? You know, obviously, after the game, the coaches will all go home. We'll get an early jump of some of the things that's going on with the Washington Commanders to be able to get ready for that Sunday night football game that's coming up next week, because that's big time for us, right? We're really worried about ourselves. We're really focused on what we have to do as opposed to everybody else. And, like, we'll let those guys sweat that out, man. We'll go out and get ready to play the next game.
Coach, what's the difference between the Michael Penix that you had today out there and the one that came into camp all those months ago?
That's a great question. I would say the rapport with Zach Robinson. I would say the ability to go out there and be really comfortable spitting out all the plays, and they know exactly what the purpose of the play is, the clean footwork, the ability to know some of the wideouts and the concepts like his own, the ability to go out there and be able to retain the information, to be able to bring it to the sideline and be able to communicate and talk through situational football. I think the guy's just a grown adult that came in with a high level of football experience that's done nothing over the last 14 weeks or 15 weeks, whatever it's been, of working that into his game. And I couldn't be more proud of the young man.
up here, Raheem. Obviously, you've touched on it here throughout this press conference, but is there a sense of relief? I mean, you've seen him on the practice field, you've worked with him behind the scenes, so you knew what you had. But to see it translate during a live game, how much of a relief is that for you and your staff right now?
I don't know. That's kind of a soft word that I don't like to use, Jared, when you say relief, because I just got confidence, like in the young man. And like I was talking to ownership today, and I was just talking to those guys about how well he practiced and talking about some of the things that he did and what really looked good for us, because like we have all these great questions when we're talking amongst each other, what's going to look different, how are we going to manage the game, and we're able to really clearly put those in dialect for whoever's asking, whoever we're talking to, and we're talking about certain things. I just think it came to fruition today, and like, I don't know if it was a sense of relief. It's just being able to go watch him go execute it during the game and during the whole cycle. Like I knew we created the situations in practice with our Mamba periods and making it tough on him. I knew we were able to create those things with him being able to go out there and simulate things versus our first team defense, and to watch him grow and develop even behind Kurt when he was the number 2 and how he prepared. So like just to watch him go do it, it was more fun to watch than actual relief. It wasn't a relief, but for me it was more of just a sense of pride.
Mechanics are everything when it comes to quarterback accuracy. How do you view Michael Penix Jr. purely from a mechanical perspective?
I think that was a narrative from the draft, however you want to look at it, from the quarterback experts on what you like and what you don't like. And like what I loved about Michael was his ability to get the ball out of his hand and some of those things. When you're talking about small detail and mechanics that you can change whenever you really feel like it from a quarterback standpoint, on where you are in the pocket, where you want to throw from in the pocket, what platform you want to throw from, those things are very easy and simple to be done and easily articulated, whether it be TJ or Doug Williams Jr. actually articulating that to him, and to be able to watch him go do that stuff and seamlessly go through his motion, his rhythm of how you get the ball out. It's pretty easy for us. Like those things don't really matter as much as the kid's accuracy, the kid's arm talent, his mind, what's between his eyes, and all those things. And he has that in a big way. And that's what he showed us throughout the draft process. So being able to watch him go articulate and do those things today was absolutely outstanding. Like you'll always be able to critique footwork. We can critique that in anything that we do, any position that we coach, any position that we play. And we'll always be able to have a chance to go back and correct some of those things to find out if we can get them better.
Am I right that the Mamba period just means ones versus ones?
It usually means ones versus ones, good on good competition, a non-scout team look. However you want to look at that, when you just got a chance to go out there and really preview some plays, whether it be blitzes, whether it be situations that you might not see unless it comes up in the game. And that's a competitive period for both Jimmy Lake and Zach Robinson to go against each other. And you can get a little bit of fighting with those two in those periods, and I really love that. A chance to go out there and really officiate those things for me, whether it be a 2-minute situation or whatever it is with him that he needs to get better at. And you got a real good look at Michael throughout the year and throughout the season with all those periods.
Did you do more of them this week just to help prep him?
No, we kept the same amount of Mamba periods, changed up a couple of things that we thought he might need, like a 2-minute situation. I was able to change up a couple of things that he might need as far as a first, second down, third down in a row, back to back. But we kept the same rhythm and routine that we normally have, just gave him a couple different things that I thought like he would benefit from not playing in the games prior.
Were there any markers you were looking for as you went through this week to give you some comfort that he was, in fact, ready and was, in fact, going to respond the way you thought he would? And can you relay any of those if there was a moment where you felt you checked a box in your mind?
Tuesday when we made the decision. he passed that marker. They passed those markers up to that point. We're ready to go with him stepping on the field. And then his practice week and his rhythm and his routine that he was able to go out there and show us just gave us more confidence.
Can you identify a favorite play at this point? I mean, I know you got to go back and watch the film, but was there something that happened out there in one specific?
Are we talking about specifically Michael
Yeah,
or
yeah,
just the team in general?
Yeah, Michael.
You know, I enjoy football entirely too much to pick a favorite play from Mike, you know, but I just enjoy the fact that him coming off the field, being able to verbalize things when they went wrong and to be able to communicate those things to us very clearly. And, like, that's a sign of an adult. That's a sign of a different form of maturity for us. And, like, those are things for me that I really covet.
Yeah, to follow up on that, doing it again in practice is one thing, but was there maybe a moment that we didn't see or wouldn't recognize a successful play that you felt that he was ready for the moment today that could basically own the responsibility of leading this team?
I mean, you've been there every week and had a chance to see those guys go out there and play and compete or not. But, you know, you've been around. And, like, I think those moments have just been accumulating throughout the season. Like, you see wow moments, whether it be throwing the football or you see wow moments of things that he saw and was able to articulate to us in a practice setting, and then he was able to go do it today. So it's just what he's been doing since he's been here.
Well, Raheem, you said a few weeks ago that you saw the pass rush coming, you know, that we're seeing right now. What was it that you saw in the past, and what are they doing right now that's making you guys so effective at getting to the quarterback?
I think we talked about it before, man. I think I was telling Led, I was like, it's coming. Like, I can see it in practice and how we're practicing, how we're getting better. But really, over the last couple of weeks, they've cracked the code and they got a feel and they're rushing together, right? When you get, that's John right next to you, but when you get four guys all rushing together, that's how it happens the best. And then when you add that fifth element, or you're able to have the fake fifth element, all of those things happen where you know where your space is, where you can take your shots and really take those chances and those opportunities. And they're really making the most out of them, whether it's Caden Ellis, whether it's Big Rook, whether it's AK, who's really dominated over the last couple of weeks. I'm really proud of how they're rushing together. You know, Matthew Judon, like, it's easy to go out there and look for somebody to get 15 sacks, but that's just not the nature of the beast when you don't have a guy like sitting next to you to be able to go out there and do it. But to be able to go out there and rush the passer as one, I think is what we found out.
So is it more so that they're doing it individually, or is there some kind of scheme that you guys are doing, or what's?
I think it's a combination of those guys being able to rush as one, right? Knowing where they're going to be, being able to execute the things that we want to get them to execute, whether it be games, whether it be straight rush, whether it be just rushing at the level of the quarterback, being able to rush with power, knowing the times you can and when you can't. I think they're doing a great job of keeping guys in the pocket, keeping them in the framework of the play, whether it's been a three-man rush, whether it's been a four-man rush, or whether it's been five or more.
Yeah, Coach, did you get a update on Drake London and his hamstring, and would he have been able to go back in today?
I believe he would have went back in. I don't have any updates or anything like that. Led came right to you guys, but I look forward to him being ready to practice next week.
Anything else? Thanks, everyone.
All right, guys.